Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 14 of Keeping It Loose. Today, I am joined by my two co-hosts, actually first-time appearance guest, Bryson Lewis, a.k.a. Baby Blue Lou, and our new guest for the first time, Mr. Holton. I play basketball and I'm super sick Sparling. And I'm really excited to have Holton on today, certified ball knower. And it's going to be an exciting one. We're going to start ripping through some things here. Holton, first thing, before we get into it, what would you like to say to the audience?
You know, I really appreciate being here. I heard all about keeping it loose, directly, indirectly. Really cool opportunity to do it alongside Bryson here. Call came from up top, said everyone saw Bryson's stupid fucking parlay last week. Get a guy in here that knows ball. So here I am, filling a little seat so we can get some banter going. I know the best part about this for our viewers is last week or the past couple of weeks, so you get a little bit more corporate ball talk, structured, here's the data kind of back and forth. But, as you can see from my CU background, but these are conversations today that have been going on for years in between this trio here. We got a lot of chemistry with beer in our hands, talking sports. So this is a very natural setting for this three good looking guys here too. So I do play basketball. I know what a ball feels like in my hand, unlike some other people out there, but excited to get the conversation rolling live from Denver, Colorado. Good days out here.
And disclaimer, you don't drink beer, actually. You're not able to drink beer. So
skinny. That's why I'm tall.
Right? So we have Celiac Sparling joining us hot off the press today. No beers for
illegal.
him.
That's illegal.
But man,
too.
will this guy put down a couple nooners, man. So we're excited to get into it. Maybe that's something in the future. We start getting a little booze action going for keeping it loose.
Yeah.
But everyone, we're gonna die. Everybody knows what we're gonna talk about today, right? We just had weekend 1 of March Madness. I would say it was a lot of March. Wasn't a lot of madness, if I'm just going to kind of call it how it is. And we're sitting here, we're looking at the Sweet 16. Guys, a lot of favorites. And I know what we're all thinking. So let's start here. I want to start here. We've only got a couple upset teams with Sean Miller and the Texas Longhorns. They've been doing great. 11 seed. That's the lowest seed, highest seed, however you want to kind of say it in the tournament, along with the game of the week that nobody actually gives a shit about, which is Iowa and Nebraska. And it doesn't really matter what they do because in the next round they will be losing no matter what. So guys, why is this happening? I mean, Cinderella story no more. What's going on? Lewis, you want to kick us off here today?
Yeah, no, I'm ready to jump into that. I think I had some qualms with the way that the bracket played out. It certainly didn't do any favors to kind of the NIL era, top heavy era that we have in terms of talent distribution right now in college basketball. But nothing against Texas, right? But as an 11 seed with a play-in game, they still had one of the easiest routes to the Sweet 16 that I could possibly fathom. Getting a chance to play a Gonzaga team that hasn't done anything since Adam Morrison, since bread was pre-sliced.
27 seasons, Chew. 27 seasons with no national championship. Damn shame.
It's a shame. And what's really tough is when you look across that sideline and you see Mark Few genuinely shaking in his boots on the sidelines. He could not wait to go back to Washington. He has no business playing these serious basketball programs. And, he likes to prove that every year, especially when, St. Mary's rolls into town, or I'm pretty sure they lost to, Portland State this year as well. It's really
Santa
a shame that a team that gets to come in here and take up a coveted number 3 seed or 2 every single year in this tournament. Meanwhile, like we said in the East, right? I mean, we've got Duke, Michigan State, St. John's, and who's rounding out in that 2 seed there? UConn.
UConn.
All
Yeah.
fighting for one spot. It really is a crying shame. In terms of the only real upset that I thoroughly enjoyed was watching the High Point boys put a beat down on the Wisconsin Badgers. Shout out to my buddy Banson.
Yep.
Um,
Mhm.
Really enjoyed watching that, and I know you did too.
Yep.
Wisconsin was a bit of an anomaly this year, right? They like to beat good teams and they like to lose to bad teams. But I think High Point showed a little bit of a resolve in that Arkansas game too. I would have really liked to see them get a team like Gonzaga in that second round because I knew they would beat the absolute brakes off of a team like that. So it's
Yeah.
interesting. I think maybe some AI assistance, maybe some
Mm.
ChatGPT would be useful in terms of how they formulate the bracket in the future, to get rid of some of those blind spots.
Yeah, well,
Mm.
that was, I don't know, that was a lot of jargon. I get kind of what he said there, a little bit. Back to Texas really quick, just so we can kind of tap into that, Holton, before I go over to you, because Gonzaga, if you tuned in to, I think it was episode 4, Keeping It Loose. It was either episode 4 or episode 5, Keeping It Loose, where we had highest cost per win team, lowest cost per win team. I actually took the Gonzaga Bulldogs because of what they're paying their head coach in salary plus NIL, and I think they were sitting somewhere around 4 million in NIL dollars, and it showed. It showed. And Holton, I'd love to kind of hear your take. Why is this happening? Or is it seriously, is college basketball changed forever?
Yeah, I think you guys bring up an interesting point, especially within the realm of Gonzaga. I know BYU's been on their ass, the last couple of
Hmm.
weeks.
State.
I think the hot take on the last episode was that they were going to get upset by Kennesaw State, which is just a little bit blasphemous in hindsight, right? This is a team that hasn't lost a first round game since they
It
lost
was
to Steph
close.
Curry and Steph Curry and what was that 20, whatever that was 10 so plus years ago. So close, but they keep it tight in the first round. I think they play a physical form of basketball that succeeds in March. Pertaining to the NIL deal with the Gonzaga, they got this heavy pipeline from Europe that keeps them cost efficient, as the Wolf would like to phrase there. But overall, dollar per win is an interesting concept these days. In an era that people love to complain about literally fucking everything,
Yeah,
you kind of got to keep your head on straight at this point in time. NIL and the upset are directly correlated these days. We might see a lot less upsets in the first round like we did this year, so it'll be predictable there. But these heavyweight hitters will produce better games in the later seeds. So I'm very excited to see what we got on this term this year. Like last year, looking at the Final Four, we had all 1 seeds, and boy, was the Final Four fun last year.
sure
With
was.
those heavy hitters, Duke choked as always. Fun thing to laugh at there. They got
Great
budget.
time.
There's a couple different things there. So, Gonzaga, I don't see they'll go anywhere, especially with their rebrand into the Pac-12 or what was, and out of the WCC. Maybe that form of physical basketball will prepare them, or more physical basketball will prepare them for this time of year. But High Point is an interesting one there with Wisconsin. They got a lot of money down there. I was celebrating my dad's 60th
We're
birthday
rich.
over the weekend. He's sitting on the couch going, "Where the hell is High Point? I've never heard of High Point." Lo and behold, White Picket Fence University down there that loves their sport,
Sure
has a
is.
beautiful little arena. I don't see that team really kind of disappearing off the face of the earth when we start talking about March. We got VCU, they got some bands that can make them dance a little bit in March. So,
Hmm.
far and few between, the madness going, completely away to death. That
Mhm.
means forever. But maybe it moves from the round of 64 into bigger
Mhm.
brands being a little bit more mad in the round of 32. I think Saturday and Sunday really published some great brand of basketball that left you hung over when you had to come watch the stupid NBA on Monday. So,
Yeah, yeah.
a couple
No, I
things
think
there for your
Nobody
wins.
wants to see.
yeah, I think weekend 1, it used to be by far and away the most exciting part I thought of the tournament. And obviously the tournament was still awesome as it went down, but now it's kind of a progression, right? Like I
Mm,
think we know Thursday and Friday, a lot of these games are going to be sick. But when we get to
mm,
Saturday and Sunday, I mean, we are going to get into some high quality basketball here and
Yep.
something to like know all these teams in the Sweet 16, their head coaches are sick. I mean,
yeah,
they've been around
demons.
for 20 plus years, all of them. Like, there's Hall of Fame coach after Hall of Fame coach. So it's like, yeah, they've got a lot of NIL money, but so did BYU, right? Like,
Mm,
they didn't put a good roster together. Like, there's still some
Kentucky.
teams. Yeah, like Kentucky, they
Mhm.
spent the most money, I think, of any team, other than Kansas. Kansas was out against the Johnnies. So
Mm,
I think we're coming up on a lot of good quality basketball, fellas. I want to leave weekend one behind us. I really want to move on to the Sweet 16. I would
Mhm.
love to hear a few games that we're spotlighting. And by the way, if you tuned in last week, Oppo Taco Pick of the Week alert. 0
yeah.
for 3. 0 for
Oof.
3. Um,
Ouch.
so it tells you we're kind of seeing the field, and we
Mhm.
will have more Oppo Taco picks this week. It's going to be Holton's first Oppo Taco pick. So I'm looking
Mm.
forward to seeing that. So stay tuned. Holton, start us off here. What games are you looking at? What are you excited about going into Thursday and Friday?
Oh boy. I mean, you started off hot saying no one fucking cares about Iowa and Nebraska, but I can speak for a lot of people out your direction in the Midwest, or I guess in between us two here, that do heavily care about this basketball. They may lose in the next round, but boy, it's going to be electric of two brands that are not primarily known as basketball schools, and but very, very cool stories nonetheless. So I specifically am fired up about Iowa versus Nebraska because I could couldn't care less about the Cornhuskers because they're got peas for brains. But Iowa, on the
Mhm.
other hand, is just a really cool story of where they've taken this coach Ben McCollum from Drake in the last year, and made it all the way to the Sweet 16, where they haven't done that. With their recent coach McCaffrey, who left. Didn't do that his entire tenure there, and McCollum does it in his first year. This is a
Mhm.
guy who has won multiple Division II championships. Took Drake in his first season with Drake, 30 plus season, won a tournament game with a bunch of his players they brought up and from Division II, and now
Mhm.
looks to do it in a bigger brand in Iowa that's primarily known as a football school. Like, what could we ask for more than that? So Iowa, Nebraska, we're complaining about there not being any upsets. We got Nebraska and Iowa sitting here with higher seeds on their chests, and we're complaining about that basketball game, Sash. I don't know what we're doing there. So, but love to see those brands duke it out. A lot of people think that one team should start with the ball primarily like they do in football, and they should decide it by punting before the game like they do in football a ton. So I thought that was a little cute giggle before,
Uh-huh.
but that'll be loud. Fun
Thank
fact for
you.
you guys from last week. Nebraska's fans travel, and unfortunately, as you guys here, we know that quite well. They
Sure do.
broke the sound record in Oklahoma City in the Thunder's darn stadium, which is known as one of the best brands in the NBA. So look for that to be a great, great environment in Houston. I won't take the other Houston game from Bryson because I know he likes to talk about as a Illini there, but really cool factor that there's three Big Ten schools down in Houston versus Houston. That's another interesting topic there. But
Mhm.
both very close spreads. Probably will go the other from where we're picking. So might be a little bit of our my Oppo Taco pick of the week here in a second. A little
Oppo
teaser
Taco
there.
alert? Oppo Taco alert? No?
TBD
Okay.
coming down the
Okay.
line. Most heavily bet on money line in the entire Sweet 16 coming into this next weekend is Houston. I'm heavy
Mm.
Huh.
on Houston in against the Illini here, but I think it should be a classic basketball game for a number of reasons. Not only the Big Ten being represented heavily down there, but Houston's just been crazily unfortunate in the last couple of years, primarily in these later rounds where they look super promising and then fail at the last second. But you know, the Illini are fun. They're feisty. They get some shots to fall from their freshman guard. Then they look undefeated. But Houston is veteran in a day and age or a year where freshmen have primarily owned the spotlight from numerous teams across the country. I trust the Houston team with all of my heart down there to get it done.
The Tugler, the Tugs.
So for that fact, the Oppo Taco pick of the week will be the Fighting Illini in Houston, Texas.
Love that.
We'll have
pick.
two
Love that. pick.
Big Ten teams fighting to get to the Final Four in Houston, in their fans' face. So fun one there. But those are my two most excited picks. We can go around the horn from there.
Oppo Taco pick of the week alert. Holton's first Oppo Taco pick is the Fighting Illini. Chew. I got the spread at 2.5. Are you money line? Are you plus 2.5? You buying a point? What are you doing?
Yeah. You know, these later rounds, we mentioned it in our first little segment there. These are going to be great basketball games from big brands that have built their rosters very strategically. So we're going to take money line or die here at this stage. If the line is under 3 in the sport of college basketball, you're taking money line or you're pussyfooting around with a spread at this stage of the tournament, then you're lying to yourself. So get the money in your pocket out, place it on the table. Illini money line against Houston in Houston.
No putsy footing around, Chew.
Nope.
Putsy footing around.
Yes,
that's a Taco pick.
Yep.
Illini money line. Book it. Put everything you possibly want on it. Lubu.
Who
what
wins,
are we seeing there?
Who wins Iowa, Nebraska? Give me a winner there.
I got a lot of faith in Ben McCollum. We got a high seed rolling down Nebraska. They split earlier in the season. I think this is a great question because they could go both ways. Last time we saw Nebraska, they got their guys moving around, very even split across their starters and points. I think 4 guys had like 15 points or something like that. Two teams that kind of fell on their face down the stretch the regular season, but Iowa is hot right now. They won that Florida game on the back of their coach. I guess we can talk about Florida, Iowa a little bit down, but their coach is what's bringing them to this point, and their players truly believe in them. And so, despite Nebraska's fans moving well in numbers, Iowa's got some confidence. They got some swagger from the D2 level up. You know, I got Iowa in that one. No Oppo.
Well, sounds like Holton's going to get down on all fours for Ben McCollum and take care of business for him. Got it there. Big Iowa guy all of a sudden.
Yep.
I still don't care about the basketball game. Two just unserious states in general, kind of forgotten states of the country. So if you tune into past episodes of Keeping It Loose, whether it's football, basketball, don't care about those two programs. Lubu.
Yeah, I agree with you. Two of the more hateable brands of college sports there between Iowa
100%.
and Nebraska. You can throw Wisconsin in there with them as well. But in terms of the Sweet 16 games, I'll start with my Fighting Illini revenge game, revenge tour. Against the Houston Cougars. Last time we were in the Sweet 16, that was about somewhere between 6 to 10 years ago. Yes, Emmanuel Sharp was still playing for that Houston Cougars team. We lost. We lost by about, I want to say 15 points, but we had a serious comeback attempt that was squandered by one of the biggest bullshit technical fouls you'll ever see on RJ Melendez breakaway dunk. So I think the Fighting Illini have some business to attend to down there. I'm concerned with Houston. I'm on the record saying that this is offensively the best Houston team I've seen in a long time, and that's really been their only issue in the past 10 years of being the bridesmaids. But I can't really say anybody has a better chance of being there and doing that when it comes to the Fighting Illini, because if Houston is the bridesmaids, then the Fighting Illini are the valet. They have no business or have had no business getting anywhere near contention in terms of this tournament there. So it'll be a very exciting basketball game. Two very different brands of basketball. Houston likes to run and gun, turn you over, turn the speed of the game up. Illini likes to slow it down, kind of back you down, run some booty ball, kick it out for three. So
Home game too.
it'll be a bit of fire and ice in that game. I'm really excited for it, and I hope that the Fighting Illini can bring it back up top there. I smell a rat in terms of that line with the number 2 seed Cougs. In a home game against a Fighting Illini team that hasn't done too well against like the highest level of competition they've played this year. They got blown out by Michigan at home. They lost to Michigan State. They lost to Wisconsin. It'll be interesting. I smell a rat there. I smell a rat there. Pick wise, I think Houston should be -5.5, -6.5 with
Yeah.
it being a home game. And
Agreed.
for that reason, I'm all over the Fighting Illini. Right when you pull me out, right when I say I'm out, you drag me right
Oppo
back in.
Taco? Is that another Oppo Taco
No,
pick, Chew?
no.
Okay. I didn't know if we were gonna have the same Oppo Taco picks
I
as
feel
you,
like
but
that covers the same
I did
theme
not have
there.
relations. I never had relations with that basketball team. Okay,
Yep.
mhm.
that's Holden's
Plus
Oppo
22 and a half
Taco pick.
10, right?
That's
Yep.
Holden's Oppo Taco pick.
It is.
Yep.
It is.
And I'm not going to touch that Iowa Nebraska game with the 10-foot pole either. I think it's stinkathon of the week. Whoever wins is definitely losing to whoever wins, Illinois, Houston.
You gotta feel great if you're Illinois or Houston. You're coming out of that and you're looking down the line and you got two guys or two teams that you've already played, right?
You're
Yeah.
absolutely right.
In relation to that Illinois. So
Yeah.
You're
Whoever wins
absolutely
that
right.
game's
It's
going to
kind
the
of
Final Four.
similar to that Arkansas Arizona game, which I'm sure we'll take a look at soon there. But obviously, whoever comes out of that one is definitely going to come out and represent that region as well. I think the other side of it being Texas Purdue, which I don't think anybody should be really
Michigan.
scared of in terms of Michigan's another
Michigan.
region too.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the right side of the bracket altogether.
No,
Of the right side.
There's
Okay,
4
gotcha.
regions too.
Gotcha.
But we'll take
Do
a
you
look
guys
on
know
that
there's 2 days of basketball, correct? Right? We do play basketball on Friday as well. Did anybody take a look at day number 2 on Friday here? Because
I mean,
wow.
you can lead us over there because you want to talk about St. John's, right? Is that what we're kind of getting at here? You want to talk about
I
St.
will
John's?
get to the Red
You want to talk
Storm,
about
Chew.
Bama?
I will get to the Red Storm, Chew. Please do not rush excellence. I will get to Mr. Patino here soon because there is some spiciness coming out of Mr. Patino today. But guys, Oppo Taco pick of the week alert. I can't believe that Iowa State is -4.5 against the Vols, the Volunteers. I mean, that is such a sucker line. I get Joshua Jefferson's probably going to be out this upcoming week, but Iowa State has just been dominating teams. And I think Tennessee has had the easiest track to get to the Sweet 16 behind Texas as well. I don't think they're that good of a basketball program right now. Like, I think they're okay. But guys, I'm so confident that Iowa State covers 4.5 that I will be taking the Volunteers +4.5 for my Oppo Taco pick of the week. I probably won't even watch the game, to be honest, just because it's kind of a stinker, man. I mean, like not very. Talk about an exciting white, right? It's not very exciting.
With or without Joshua.
Yeah, they're probably gonna be without Joshua, given he's still not putting weight on that ankle of his.
The boot is not a good look. But they should slide past
scooting
Tennessee,
in the boot?
right?
Is he scooting in the boot?
He's scooting in the boot.
Yeah, he's boot scooting. He's not putsy footing either. Around there,
equivalent
he's
of
scooting.
a cone for a hooper.
Yeah,
the equivalent of a dog with a cone.
But yeah, guys, I like your guys' analysis on the Thursday. I really do. I think there's just so many good basketball games that are going to come out of Thursday. Friday though is my day. That's where Seaskatch is going to win.
Of course.
Just buckets of cash. I'm seeing that board so well. I cannot wait to put 100 stars, aka 100 units,
Mm-hmm.
on the Johnny's money line and
Mm.
on the Johnny's plus 6.5. And I'm actually
Mhm.
even going to buy it to 8 and put even more money on it.
Mm.
Patino, not only did Dylan Darling want the basketball after not making a bucket the entire game and then doing it, that game should have also been a blowout, by the way. Can't believe they covered the 2.5. What an absolute devastation. Should have been a blowout. But that just shows you the kind of team that Patino is dealing with this year. And Patino came out today. He said, "We had 2 good practices, fellas. We had 2 good practices." And the number 2 team, quite frankly, is dominating the number 1 team right now. And so if we're going to have to go in there and beat the brakes off of the poor Duke Blue Devils with our bench, we will. We got 10 guys right now that can shoot the basketball and start. I just think the Johnnies, honestly, I think it's going to be a 10-point win. I think it's going to be a Johnny's 10-point win. I'm taking the money line. I think it's like plus 250. Probably throw a G ball on that. Probably throw another G ball on plus 8. I mean, we are going to hammer the Johnnies, fellas.
Sure.
I can't wait for that game. I just don't think Duke's that good this year. I think they're
Yeah.
overhyped. I don't think they're that good. I think the Johnnies just continuously getting disrespected. I then obviously think the Johnnies are going to beat either Michigan State or UConn. I just think they're a buzzsaw. Enough about the
I
Johnnies.
You
Go
know,
ahead,
no,
Holto.
well,
I'll
no, I want to lean
pause.
into the St. John's, the St. John's talk
The
here,
narrative.
because I think Bryson, I think you did a bad job of defending the other side of the coin last week when Saskatch and Shawa went into a celebration on how they're going to cash a ticket with the Johnnies winning a national championship, which is just bonkers. You know, you're putting a couple of Genos down, you're getting 30 back. For a reason. You know, St. John's, precisely, they don't really have a full hope on winning the national championship, but they got a dog fight here. There's 2 sides of this coin here. Sketch, they let Kansas back into the game yesterday, and they were the laziest 4 seed out of the bunch. They got the best poll in the first round with UNI, who couldn't match St. John's if they had Jesus on their bench, but and then they got a good 4 seed poll in Kansas the next round, which if you look around the horn, they're probably the worst one out of the 4s. And then they let them back into the game. They were up 14 with 7.5 minutes left. They went on a good run. The they ref the game quite well. Even though we got a skeleton of St. John's coach Patino over there yelling at him the whole game. And this is
Dude.
a Kansas team that looks lost if DP isn't shooting the lights out or they're not in transition. So you put Duke in the half court with a stronger pace.
TP.
They're going to struggle in that regard. And then it's more so on Kansas. Kansas let up a straight line drive after fouling for a minute from a guy that hadn't scored since 2 days prior. I mean, that's the laziest thing. And I got half that guy's name in my last name,
I
Darling
thought you knew
Sparling.
ball.
I mean, that is if it wasn't for Zuby Booty,
Zuby
they would have
Booty,
lost
Zuby,
that
Zuby
game.
Booty.
I give him all the credit in the world. Defensively, showed up with heart to rebound and then put some show, a little finesse on a floater hook coming down when Kansas was hot. So, they got out of there luckily. But Duke, if they're playing their best brand of basketball, it's them all day, all 40 minutes, 7 days a week. St. John's was a 2 seed last year, was overhyped, lost in the second round. Then they're
Okay,
slightly
dude.
worse. We're gonna lose in the
Okay,
third. So,
dude. Got it. Got it.
we're gonna move
Yeah.
on to the next one, but
first
I
of
wanna
all,
know.
explain the
No, we're
other
not
side.
moving on. You don't just get to say your
no,
piece and
yeah.
then just move on. I
Yeah.
mean, how unserious was that,
Yeah.
Bryson?
It's time to
I
fucking
mean,
nail you to the
just
dartboard, Chew.
watch
I
any
mean,
film.
I'm serious. Let me put some respect on my own personal name and brand, because you called me out of my name before you went on that nonsensical rant about seeing what the other side brings. Oh, Duke, brand of basketball. Are you shitting me, dude? Yeah, the sun
Yeah.
came up this morning as well, Holden. Thanks
Yeah.
for the update. Anyway, fucking the reason that I didn't give any pushback on the takes of the St. Johnnies and the the vertical that basketball team has gone on over the past,
Mhm.
I would say, multiple months now, and are still nowhere near scratching the surface of their ceiling of a basketball team, is why I completely
Ooh.
agree with Ciska
Oh.
and with Omamba about what's going on over there in the Garden, when
Mm.
it comes to the Red Storm here, and I couldn't agree more that they're gonna come out of this region, and I could not agree
Mhm.
more that if they do actualize their potential for a full 40 minutes of basketball, there is not a single basketball team on this planet, probably even in the league right now, that can stay with these guys. Seriously.
Mm.
Loose.
Mm.
Loose,
Seriously.
Lewis.
Not enough people
Loose,
are talking
dude.
about it. I mean, they beat UConn twice in the same
I
season.
Mm.
I
What are we doing here?
I don't know.
They beat Kansas probably about 10 minutes of game time into that game was over. And I can't tell
Completely
you how many
agree.
times I've seen that happen. Yes, they won on a buzzer beater. Yes, that game was close. I've seen them blow multiple 20-point leads over the course of this season, and guess what? It still has not mattered because they still win the game. They still win the
Yeah,
game, they still move on, and they still advance. And I can't wait
they
to see
just
them do it again.
yeah, Lewis, they don't break. And again, I thought Holton was a film watcher. It's clear that the
Mm.
guy just refreshes an app and is like, "Oh, they're coming back." Like, dude, when was the last time you saw somebody with 5 fouls to give in the last
Mhm.
9 seconds? That is the most rigged referee basketball game of March Madness. And
Mhm.
and let me
Dude,
just kind of
rigged.
go back on a point. I genuinely thought that might have even been somewhat of a close game because of how large Kansas
Mhm.
is. Kansas's shortest guy is 6'5", and
Mhm.
Mhm.
the biggest team that the Johnnies played of the whole year was Kentucky, and they lost. Like, they lost by, like, 20 to Kentucky, so they struggled against a big body, big, tall teams like that in the past, so I thought that's maybe why, this could be a little bit close. That game was never close. It should have never been close. If you watch any film whatsoever, it was completely bend, don't break. They should have
Mhm.
won by 15. I think they're gonna beat the Blue Devils by 10, once Zuby Booty shuts down, Mr. Boozer. And,
Mm,
I'm excited to see
loose,
it. And by the way, the
loose.
wager is 500 to win 30 grand. So it's not a couple G's, it half a G ball, dude. Not gonna change my standard of living. Fellas, do we wanna move on to, I think, a pretty fun basketball game and the biggest spread, I think, other than is what's the Texas? Yeah, Texas Purdue. That's not the biggest spread. It's Michigan Alabama.
Stinker big time.
Mm.
Is Michigan that good to be -8.5 against the Tide? I mean, I
Yeah, I
I
mean, I will go ahead and jump out and say yes. I mean, that's a team that beat
I
Duke
agree.
on neutral ground. What was that? 2 month or a month and a half ago
month
at
yeah,
this
right before the
point.
conference tourneys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
physical basketball team that'll wear you down. They did it with St. Louis, on Saturday morning. You look, they were making shots coming out there. Dude had goggles on. I forget what his name is. He was hot with
Cream
the
Bigums.
other team. Yeah, so but then they just kind of wear you down. Point guards get in each other's faces, and then they start hitting shots in the corner. So I think Michigan, even if they do look slow out of the gate with Bama, the physical style of basketball will continue to wear them down. Duke beat them. They'll beat the
It's
Johnnies. But anyways, back
yeah.
to the other thing. Yeah, Bama averaging 92 points a game. So you got to have your seatbelts on, play some defense on that end. But Michigan, I think they'll continue to grind that game down, and it'll just be kind of an ugly way to get to the next round where they'll face Iowa State, hopefully with their best player back. But I don't really see a way Bama consistently can put up 90 points plus points against this Michigan basketball team.
I can. I
Yeah.
can. Bama's the best. I mean, this is like insane scoring like this is the Florida Gators of last year scoring basketball
Mm-hmm.
team that we
Mhm.
have with Alabama without ankle monitor Aiden Holloway as
Do we
well,
have an
which,
update on
by the
that
way,
case?
I heard some little bleeps today, Lubu, out of
Mhm.
Twitter that they say as
Mhm.
long as he's got an ankle monitor, he's good to go, is what I'm hearing. So is
Mm.
that going to be true? I don't know. Hoping that we do know some judges to get that ball moving a little bit
I
faster because
believe.
again, he didn't do it.
I
No,
believe. I
that's
agree.
something I will stand on. You didn't do it.
He didn't do it. Lewis, are you
Um,
taking the 8.5 or what are you what side are you on with this Bama Michigan? Because obviously Holton he's running the ball over and over and over again
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
here
yeah.
today.
up the middle.
Which
He's
that's
chalk
what happens
sparring,
on everybody's first time on keeping it loose, right?
Yeah,
It's just
chalking it,
run the
100%.
ball,
down.
run the ball.
No,
Nice
Hey,
take.
yeah. No,
you know,
I think there's a lot of value in that point spread for this basketball game simply because of the amount of points that Alabama can score. I think that the only teams that are really going to give this Michigan team any heat is Arkansas, Alabama, and Arizona. Strictly because of that volatility on the offensive side paired with that size and that pace of play. If you recall the Nebraska Michigan game earlier this year, where Nebraska, I don't think they won, but they won. They were winning wire to wire, and I think they might have lost in Ann Arbor back when Michigan was undefeated about halfway through the season. And the reason that Nebraska had a chance to get that done after, the disillusionment of their undefeated season played out was because of the style of basketball that they imposed on the Michigan Wolverines. And that's kind of a danger with teams of this level of quality, is that they feel that they can play any style of basketball, and so they don't feel that they need to impose their own style of basketball into a basketball game. And so I think that the Arkansas, the Alabamas of the world that are just going to say, we're just going to treat this like an NBA game, 10 seconds down the clock, couple passes, chuck it up. Michigan will abide. And then next thing you know, all of their 7-footers, start being a little bit less effective. And we'll see who can shoot the basketball as well. With that being said, Michigan does shoot the basketball extremely well. The
Yeah.
depth that they
The
have
poor
with Trey
Billikens too.
McKinney,
mm,
The
yeah, I
poor
mean it's
Billikens.
remarkable. But I think that if anyone's going to take down Goliath, that's how you do it. You get them
Uh-huh.
into a little bit of a fuck it, a little bit of a NASCAR race.
Oh.
And we'll see how it goes. So I do see a lot of value in the points. I think you buy it up to 10.5. You hold your breath. You definitely don't want to watch. You definitely don't want to
Okay.
watch because
so
Okay.
Michigan will probably win by 25. But it will be close at
Yeah.
halftime. It will be close at halftime.
Those
that's what I'm
And I
Billikens
saying.
can
think
Where they're
be
that
gonna wear him
close.
down. They're gonna wear him down.
Yeah,
and
that's
that's
been
my
the
Oppo
theme.
Taco pick of the week to
Oppo taco alert. Oppo taco alert.
Absolutely. There's no doubt in my mind um, that I think Alabama has the right stuff to hang with these guys with or without Aiden Holloway. And for that reason, um, it's
Mm.
Michigan minus 8.5. They might win by 100, they might win by 1,000.
So Michigan minus 8.5 is the pick, which would mean Bama Oppo taco chew?
No, no, no. I liked Bama. I liked
You
Bama,
like
and so
Bama
it's
so much
Michigan.
that you're
It's
going
Michigan.
Michigan Oppo taco.
Yes,
Okay,
Mm.
yes.
and are you like it at 8.5 chew? Are you buying a point? I mean,
No, I
because
like it
now
at I
you're
Well,
like it at
enticing.
he
eight and a
doesn't
half.
like it at all,
Like
so he's not
I
buying
just told
shit.
you. I just told you Michigan will win this basketball game by 20 plus points
Yep.
because Alabama has the ability to keep this thing close. So 8.5, probably dabble in an alternate spread, 14.5, 19.5. You can get some great value on those. I'm thinking Michigan 19.5 will probably pay you out about plus 450, plus 500. Great value
Alt
on there
line.
too. Yeah,
Okay.
Mm.
absolutely.
I am the
Wolf, what do you
wolf.
got?
I am March, and I am taking Alabama.
Mm.
I am March. I can't stress it enough on that day. Friday, everybody,
Yeah,
you
March.
know me, hit me up. You know where to find me. Sending out just buckets of winners, buckets of cash flow in the Friday slate. I am going to
Mhm,
take Alabama plus 10 just
mhm.
in case buying a point and a half there. Fellas, I think I can speak for us all. Nobody cares about the Purdue Boilermakers.
Nope.
I think we all would like to see
Ugly.
Sean Miller and the Longhorns win that game outright. I think they
absolutely.
can win that game outright. I think Purdue has shown that if they don't shoot the ball very well, they're not a very good basketball team. They've been playing Purdue brand basketball recently, which is probably the
Yep.
most annoying basketball to watch behind Gonzaga. Yep. So we're all on the Longhorns, right? We're gonna run the ball there. We're
For
on the
fun.
Longhorns,
Yeah.
guys.
We'll have some fun with that one.
Football.
This
No.
mm,
Calipari's got him in his
Don't
cinch.
poke Nakua anyone.
no. He did it. He did it. By the way,
He did
that's
do
that's
that.
for sure. You
That's
got to be
3
careful.
strikes. That's
You
3
got to be
strikes.
careful with those
You do it
Islanders
after 3.
sometimes.
If
You got to
bite
be
them 3
careful
times.
of those Islanders.
Rah.
They can get after it. Anyways, Arkansas, Arizona, fellas.
I love this game.
What an
Love.
awesome game. This
Love,
might be the
love.
most fun
Super cool.
game. This might be
This
the most
is
fun
loose.
game of all of them. This is
Yeah,
the
this is it.
definition of loose.
This is it. This is
Mhm.
what
I
it's
know
all about.
I have a future on Arkansas. I know
Ooh.
Bryson has a future on Arkansas. I think they're
Mhm.
still even sitting at like plus 7,000 or plus 6,500 if you want some serious value.
Yeah.
I also have a pretty big future on Arizona. I think whoever's winning that basketball game is going to come out of that side
No doubt.
of the bracket. I
Yeah.
think that they will be one of those two teams will be in the national championship.
No doubt.
Guys, let me start it off here. Darius Acuff Jr. Okay. Yeah, loose, whatever you want to call it. It
Give
is
him one.
the guy just signed the first
Perfect
deal,
timing.
first signature shoe deal in college basketball history, right?
Reebok, yeah.
Do you guys know he's a true freshman too?
Top 5 pick.
I mean,
And not
where
5.
is this guy is going to be one of the most elite NBA basketball players, I think, in a long time from the guard standpoint.
Yep.
I think he is the next Steph Curry. I cannot wait to see. That's why I think the spread's just too big, guys. I'm going the Razorbacks win me way more money on my future, and I
Yeah.
think the spread is just too high. I'm all, and I mean, we looked at it in Calipari, guys. That guy can recruit. And he said, if I have to do any coaching, he said, if I have to do any coaching, we lose that basketball game. He goes, I already got it. I've already got us here. I did my job. That's the most athletic 5 human beings I've seen on a basketball court in a long time.
It's awesome.
I'm going to take Arkansas +9 by 1.5, like I love to do, since the casinos know something that we don't. Sportsbook knows something we don't. And I'm also going to sprinkle a little bit on the Razorbacks money line there. I think that's the most exciting game of the Sweet 16.
Yeah, no doubt.
This is awesome, guys. Let's hear it. Let's give it up to the Razorbacks.
I mean, a couple claps for him there. It's the same same reason that you like Arkansas that you do Alabama. You know, they both start with A. They both have an exciting guard. One's named Phylon, the other name's Acuff, and they both score over 90 points a game. So one's first in the country, one's third in the country. But Arizona's showing a little bit more hiccups lately against a good brand of basketball. And Utah State looked a little lazy in the second half in points. So this is one point in the bracket that I kind of saw coming. I had Arkansas in one of my brackets because you do $1 billion in March if you love ball. And one of them I have Arkansas, or a couple of them actually, coming out of this region out of pure excitement for Acuff at the end of the year. They've now won 7 games of college basketball in a row. So what can you not love more as the spicy pick in this round as Arkansas beats Arizona? Love Arizona, like you, Scatch. I think we have a lot of the same emotions in this region coming out. Who could fucking care about Purdue? Texas isn't going to do anything in the later rounds, so might as well ignore them at this point. So your all eyes on Friday night are going to be on Acuff Jr., future top 5 pick, hopefully higher. I think that'd be fun. I don't really believe in Boozer. Another topic down the road at the NBA level, but I like Acuff in the top 3 range. If you're looking at these freshmen, if you want to take a pause, what a year for the freshmen. I mean, golly, it's just insane.
Absolutely.
So should be an in the spotlight on Friday night in this Arizona game. You have tons of freshmen, tons of scoring power, two promising teams later into the third week of this tournament. So
Mhm.
very excited for this one, Bryson.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Definitely the marquee matchup of the Sweet 16 here. I had a little bit of doubts about Arkansas's size in that second round matchup, and Malik
Mm.
Ewan, another freshman, shut me the hell up.
Yeah.
But with just an absolutely dominant performance, like he's done a few times here as well. I just didn't know that, coming off the bench, he would be that kind of pillar of consistency for them in the paint. And he absolutely
Malik
has been.
Thomas.
He
Hmm.
frees up Trevin Brazil to get out there and shoot those threes to rim run. It really does complement itself so nicely that John Calipari gets to do what he loves to do, which is get back on the phones, get back to recruiting because what's going to happen on the court is already signed, sealed, delivered. It's going to be a hell
Yeah,
of a basketball game. What's the spread? What's the line?
7.5, Chew.
Oh, so exciting. So
Yeah,
exciting.
yeah.
Um, yeah. I don't. I mean, it's got to be the Razorbacks, right? And with as
Mhm.
many points as you can buy, and you just put a seatbelt on and you just hang on
Yeah.
for dear
Yep, I
life.
agree.
Yeah,
Yep,
And you
like
just
the
hope
bless up.
Baptist
D-Day.
boys.
Yeah,
Yep,
Yeah,
and you just
yep,
hope
and
Darius
yeah. What a
Iverson
cover from the Baptist
Jr.
boys.
the
takes you
Baptist boys were
to.
getting blown out, dude, and then here comes our Lord and Savior, dude. I mean,
Oh
that
gosh.
that was such that was an inflection point for the Wolfpack over here, on his wagering. That
Looking
could
in
have
the
been
mirror, huh, Joe?
that could have been about 3 or 4 losses in a row if it weren't for those Baptist boys. So, God bless them. I think,
Yeah,
they're still gonna live with our Arkansas Razorbacks. Guys, there's one other game that I wanna touch on before we kinda go in, because Holton, we haven't heard your national championship,
Yeah.
who you think's gonna be in there and who you think's gonna win, so I'm interested to hear that. But one last game, guys, between Mr. Tom Izzo and Dan
yeah,
Hurley, and the Sparties and the UConn Huskies. I have the spread here at UConn -1.5. I I told Bryson, I think this was yesterday or the day before, I'm gonna enjoy watching that basketball game. Anybody can win. Either of those guys
Hmm.
can win right now.
yeah.
I'm not
Spread
gonna
play.
touch it with a 10-foot pole, because that's gonna come down to the last shot in my book. I don't know about you guys, but that's my quick now on the whole thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree completely.
Go ahead, Bryson.
Sparty's in great form right now, though. I'll tell you what.
Sure are.
I saw the vision with Cohen Carr earlier this season,
Hmm.
but at that point in the season, he damn sure could not shoot. I think he was shooting fucking free throws at 65%. And now he's stepping out and hitting corner
He looks
threes.
unbelievable.
He looks like a perennial all star in the NBA right.
Yeah.
And so I can't wait to see what he does in that lighting right now. I don't know what the time of year, maybe he's like a blooms in March kind of guy, but they've got
Yeah.
him drinking the right stuff, and all of a sudden the rest of the team really fits in really nicely when you have somebody to take that spotlight. I think they were really missing some serious shot making abilities throughout the year. They were looking at Jordan Scott, they were looking at Kurtang. Now those guys can just kind of sit back, sit in the corner, and spot up. Jeremiah Fears is going to hit everybody, on time and on target, like Tom Brady off the pick and rolls.
Jeremy Chew,
Um,
Jeremy Fears. Is Jeremiah the
is
full
it?
name or is it Jeremy?
No, Jeremiah's his brother. Chew. Shout out
Oh,
Jeremiah.
loose,
Chicago
loose.
boys. Chicago boys.
Okay.
And I think Jeremiah's on the Pelicans. Neither here nor there. Neither here
Yeah.
nor there. Sparty.
Yep.
Give me Sparty. Those guys are playing. Those guys are trending like nobody's business right now. I'm in.
So you got the Spartans, Chew?
Yeah.
I kind of, yeah. I'm not. Yeah, I agree with you. I think I'm gonna take the Spartans here, just like lightly. I don't care. It's gonna be an awesome game.
I just want
Um,
to see Dan
and
Hurley
just
cry.
And just like a homegrown team, right? Like Tom Izzo keeps talking about it and he keeps doing it. He keeps bringing people in as true freshmen, developing them, keeping them, like gets egos out of here. I like what they're doing over at Michigan State. I'm about it. Holton, what do
Yeah.
you got to say?
Yeah, I hate to join the train here, but I'm all over Michigan State. It was from the beginning of the tournament when I was putting the brackets together. I had Michigan State coming out of this side and facing up against Duke in the in the Elite Eight. So very excited for this. I think there are very few things in college basketball right now that are scarier than Cohen Carr on a fast break. I
Mhm.
want him to dunk on Alex Caravan. I don't know what it is about that stupid guy, but I
Yeah.
don't like him for some reason. He's been in college basketball for way too long.
I mean, he's
And Dan
28.
Hurley should go stand under the rim with him because I don't like him either. So I really believe two great coaches really at the end of the day. We haven't seen a late Michigan State run out of these guys in quite some time back when they had another really solid guard with a headband hitting some good shots when we were back in undergrad. So I believe in Fears. I believe in Cohen Carr and his development. Like you guys said, I really want to see them get out on the break and Cohen and some dreams in the Yukon. They deserve to take a rest in March at this point of the year after their recent runs. So love Michigan State to face off against Duke.
Sparty on, baby.
Yep.
Sparty on from the keeping it loose,
Loose.
fellas. Guys, I'm gonna just throw this thing straight out there and get us going. I think it's going to be the Johnnies versus the Razorbacks in the national championship this year, through the
Spicy.
first weekend of basketball.
Mm.
I'm being super duper spicy. I genuinely think that these two teams, like, talk about kind of some Cinderella action. Maybe it's not a 12, 13, 14, 15 seed, but as of right now, at least the odds makers, the sports books, they still do not think the Johnnies or Razorbacks have a chance. I
Mhm.
have them both seeing each other in the national championship with, of course, yours truly, Rick Pitino, Zuby Booty, lifting the trophy at the end. I can't wait for it.
White
That's my
suit.
pick. That's my national championship. Go Johnnies once again.
Mm.
Mhm. Mhm.
Bryson, do they know your picks
Um,
memorized?
I think whoever wins Arizona Arkansas is going to represent that side of the bracket.
Mm.
And I think whoever wins Johnny's Duke is going to represent the other side of the bracket there. So I like his take, honestly. I like his take a lot. I think
Got to pick
you
one,
know,
Chew. No either or. That's not very loose.
no,
I
I'm just
need
saying
to.
I don't think Houston, Illinois has any business getting into the national championship. I think if they either of those teams do the Final Four thing, they'll hang the banner proudly. So I will say give me my Arizona Wildcats. I've got to stay true to them. I've got to stay true
Okay.
to them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
I'm loyal.
Okay.
Loyal to the soil.
And
Chicago Bears fan. Give me the
who are they
Wildcats.
beating, Chew? Who are they beating in your national championship?
The Johnnies.
Okay. Oh, the Red Storm. Okay. Okay, let's move on. I'm starting to see red again right
Oh my
now. Oh
goodness.
my
Oh my
god.
goodness. This podcast is
Holto.
getting all over the
Mhm.
Johnny's knob. So
Mhm.
I will take it a different
Suck
direction.
my
Proudly.
stick, Joe.
I am proudly
Proudly.
to lay it out for those because I didn't get a chance to kind of lay out my brackets, but I was always hot on Arizona. I was hot on Michigan, and then I was hot on Iowa State. What the Cyclones? Out of nowhere,
Not anymore.
Oh.
I still think the right side of the bracket overweighs the left. I think that is the overall consensus on this podcast in the last hour that we've chatted about. And Iowa State still looks very strong without their main guy. I think if they get back and they get hot, they can still do it. Win me a lot of money at the end of the day if they do. I still like Arizona State coming out of that side as well, as much as Arkansas will cover.
Arizona State, the Sun
Arizona,
Devils,
sorry,
Chew?
sorry. I was saying
We
Iowa
have the Sun
State.
Devils going
Yep,
to the Final Four. Here,
they don't
you
have a
heard
head
it here
coach right now.
first.
Bobby Hurley
Um,
did do a hell of a job with
Hol-
that roster this year. I'll give him that.
Holton, I
yep, they
play
don't have a head coach,
basketball and
but
I'm
they're here.
sick as drunk. You're drunk, Holto.
But Arizona, I mean, Arizona looks unbeatable right now. The Dukies have flubbed, dropped in the odds since the beginning of the tournament, and I think a lot of people are hot on the Johnnies right now, much like you guys. But the winner will come out of that right side. I like Houston to face off against Arizona in the final, and Arizona to take the dub once again. leaving Houston really barehanded once again. You know, it's a script.
Yeah,
They'll
they
eventually
they
win,
keep
Gotta
right?
get
doing
him
it,
out.
dude. Yeah, they
You
keep
know,
doing it. They
it's a
Gotta
love
get
the
the
script.
Final
helmet out of
It's a
Four.
there.
script.
Yeah. Well,
So
guys, I like where our heads at here. We have some loose takes and some not so loose takes,
mm,
aka Holto.
Dude,
I play basketball and
Holton.
I'm super sick Sparling. Going with the Iowa Hawkeyes versus Nebraska as his favorite game of the week, basically. Holto has Arizona Wildcats, not the Sun Devils. Wildcats versus Houston,
Mhm.
Arizona, hoisting the banner, the
yep.
trophy, doing the whole damn
Trophy.
thing. Baby Blue Lou has the Red Storm, the Johnnies, facing off against the Wildcats, with also the Wildcats doing so and hoisting that banner and trophy, while Seaskatch, aka Wolfpack, aka the Wolf, has Arkansas coming out of that side of it. Mr. Loose himself against the Red Storm Johnnies, with the Johnnies hoisting it up with Mr. Patino in the white suit, by the way, fellas. He will be in the white suit for the
Mm,
national championship
Okay.
game.
That's
I'm
good
looking
to
forward to it.
Yeah, that's good to know.
Guys, thank you for the time today. A lot of stuff again. I mean, shoot, almost an hour again on basketball. We have 16 teams. We have 8 games. We have a sick weekend number 2 ahead of us. Guys, I'm excited to see what happens here. Ladies and gentlemen, we really appreciate you coming to episode 14 of Keeping It Loose.
Loose.
Thank you. Have a great rest of your day. Go Johnnies.
ILL.